Hey folks, it's Captain Chandler with your police department here with a storm update on our winter storm response as a police department, but also some tidbits about what we are doing as a city to keep everyone safe in our community and what we're doing to get the roads as clean as we can, even with the super cold temperatures that are out there. The biggest question that we are getting through our dispatch and on social media is what is the status of the roads? And really, when I drove in today and been driving around the city checking things out, the roads are still hazardous, but it's all dependent on your ability to drive, your ability of your vehicle, the condition of your vehicle and your tires on how well it will do. We still have crashes that are out there related to the icy conditions, and we still have motorists who are stranded because they can't get up a hill or they run off the road into a ditch because of an icy situation. But there is a lot of traffic out. And they are getting by fine. And thankfully, our incidents are very limited. So it's more of a judgment call for you as a motorist, as a driver, on if you feel it is safe for you to drive. But if you do get out, you definitely want to take it slow. Everyone, for the most part, that I did see out driving on the icy conditions, they are driving slow and they're making it through fine. But again, it's all about you as a driver. And if you think you can drive and you're comfortable with those icy conditions. So let me just show you some roadways. This is Mount Juliet Road and how it looks. And let's check out the other. So overall, people are getting by just fine. But again, there's some who ain't. So it's really hard for us as a police department to tell you whether it's safe or not for you to go out and drive around, to go to the store, wherever you want to go. We know it's getting close to Christmas is this weekend, and you may have some last minute stuff or shopping to do. Just make that judgment call on your own. But again, if you do get out, you want to go slow, leave plenty of distance between you and other vehicles, and do not make any rapid braking or acceleration that causes your vehicle to lose traction. Here's our storm-related incidents. Since 6 a.m. this morning, we had 14 stuck, stranded motorists that require an officer to assist them to get them out of their situation. There were 3 non-injury crashes. We responded to 1-person welfare check. We also checked on 2 addresses that had a report of animals not in a good condition, so they checked that out. There were some arcing power lines that was happening, and there's many reckless driver calls. There's a lot of folks out there trying to do donuts in parking lots and in intersections. Really dangerous situation because you could always quickly lose control of your vehicle in that circumstance and hit something. But our officers are responding to those reports, and if we see it happening, they are charging those reckless drivers accordingly. So please be careful if you're out there. And let's go to the next screen and see what it looks like. Oh, yeah, the TVA, they issued a power curtailment order to all the different power companies earlier this morning to do what they can to conserve power across the region. You can see on the left was the message from Middle Tennessee Electric, which services most of Mount Juliet, and they wanted us to do what we could to reduce the electrical load. So that would be turning off lights that you're not using, maybe turning down your thermostat a little bit, delaying the use of other things that could cause a load on the electrical system. But good news is NES put out an update, which NES service is also part of Mount Juliet, that the power curtailment has stabilized on the power grid, which means that NES is no longer implementing the rotating intermittent power outages for now. They said this was the first time in history that this has ever occurred. But NES and TVA, but NES says they were ready with emergency planning in place. So we can't say if this will happen again, but the good news is everything is stable right now for everyone. And I don't think we had any power outages related to this curtailment in Mount Juliet. We didn't have any reports anyway when this was underway. With our police department, we continue to communicate with Wilson EMA should we need any warming shelters. We continue to check locations where individuals who are experiencing homelessness could be living. We haven't found anyone in those circumstances yet, but we're still going to check just to be sure. We're also providing extra patrols on our major roadways, interstates, and Lebanon Road and Mount Juliet Road, and just to be sure there's not a motorist who is stranded, who is cold. Any car that our officers see on the side of the roadway, they are stopping and checking on them. And you may notice some vehicles have yellow caution tape wrapped around the side view driver mirror. That means it has been checked by one of our officers and there is no one in it. So the officer knows not to stop and check on that vehicle. And staff continues to be on standby. Last night, when we had the rush of incidents, once the weather impacts began, we called in just 4 additional officers who were off to supplement our patrol shift. We did send them home after 4 hours once the rush of incidents fell back down. And we haven't really experienced any rush of incidents since then, which is wonderful. And we continue to provide welfare checks on reports of individuals or animals who are in poor condition. So if you think you know of someone or an animal in a bad condition, give our dispatch center a call and we will send staff out there to check on them or that animal to ensure that they have proper conditions. Our fire department still has additional crews on standby, and they have those additional vehicles to respond to difficult areas. On the different incidents that I looked that they were responding to, they had some busted water pipe issues that they've went to. They've responded to some electrical power lines arcing and some medical calls throughout the day. And your public works teams, man, they have been working around the clock since Thursday when they started to pre-treat the roads with brine. They continued all through Thursday into Friday. And once the impact started today, through Thursday and today, my days are getting mixed up. And then they started to salt the roadways and scrape the roadways, and they continue to salt and scrape the roadways where they can. The issue that they're dealing with is the super cold temperatures. Salt is ineffective during those super cold temperatures, but the sun did show itself a little bit today, and that is helping with the radiant heat to melt the ice. They have 6 snow response vehicles out there and working all for us to keep the roadways as clear as possible. From the Weather Service on this graphic, the dangerously cold temperatures continue today and tonight. The wind chill values tonight will be -9 across our area. They just want to remind you to keep covering your exposed pipes and drip your faucets. Check on your vulnerable neighbors and family. Keep your pets inside through the weekend. And if you must travel, put some items in your vehicle to keep yourself warm. Should your vehicle lose power or you become stranded, you can have some blankets, extra jackets, whatever you may have to keep yourself warm. If you are out on the roadways, please take it slow. You want to clean all the different ice and snow off your vehicle before you get out. Keep it slow. Do not use cruise control. And roads can be slick even if they just look wet. And we'll experience that throughout this event. With it being so cold, the sun comes out, it will melt. That melting obviously turns in the water, but that water can quickly refreeze with the temperatures that we're dealing with and leave plenty of distance between vehicles. And stay away from the snow plows that are out there. It's dangerous when you try to pass them if it's on a tight roadway, and you definitely don't want to crowd them too much. It just makes it harder for them to do their job. So leave plenty of room with the snow plows. And please do not forget about your neighbors or your pets. And with it being so cold, it can be really, really dangerous for them. And you want to keep them warm and dry and indoors if you can. Ensure they have plenty of food and water. And if they're outside, limit their outside time. Thoroughly clean their paws when you bring them in as well. But really, just look after everyone, your friends, your neighbors, your family, obviously, and definitely your pets that are out there. We want everyone to be safe. With any live update, we like to get questions, so type those in. I'll do what I can to answer your question. And just know that your officers are out there working in the cold. We are all bundled up with everything that we have available to keep ourselves warm because we obviously have to be out in the elements to help everyone and respond to normal calls. And our normal calls don't stop. We still have policing that we need to do and individuals who need our help or involvement. But also add that extra layer of incidents when we do have bad weather that we are responding to as well, such as the stranded motorist, the crashes, and the reckless drivers doing donuts in the snow. Dana chiming in here. She drove to Lebanon to pick up a ham and turkey, and the interstates seem good. Just take it slow. And that's true. We haven't had any incidents today on the interstate, which is good, which makes me believe that they are fairly clear for travel. The crashes and the stranded motorists that we have seen today have been on locations on Mount Juliet Road, Lebanon Road, your secondary streets like Division and Green Hill Road, and also neighborhood streets. But the interstates are fairly clear. Appreciate all the kind words, plenty of thank yous and updates. Sarah asked, for an update on the rolling blackouts. And Sarah, once this ends, you'll be able to watch it again, and there is an update at the beginning about the rolling blackouts. But the good news is EPA has suspended that power curtailment order, and they're not expecting rolling blackouts right now. They can't say if it'll change later if there's more demand on the power grid, but right now everything is stabilized. Good deal. Don't see any real questions. Folks, thank you so much for your care for our police officers and our police department, and always your support and love. Just know they're working around the clock through this holiday weekend to keep everyone safe in our community and respond to whatever they need to respond to. Please be kind. We see a lot of different stuff on social media where folks are fighting over different topics. And you know what, folks? We are all in this together as a community, and we will get through it together. Thankfully, the last time it was this cold was in 1996. And in 7 days from now, the high is going to be near 65 or 67. So there is some hope for you. Warm weather is back on the way. It's Tennessee, folks. We only deal with this for a short amount of time when we have to deal with it. But next Friday and Saturday, it's going to be 65, 67 as a high. And I think we'll all be enjoying that with what we've been through. So have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. We will continue to update you on social media, live videos if we need to, but also our MJ Alert text system. So stay connected with us. We'll keep you in the know. And Merry Christmas if I don't see you again on one of these lives. Take care, everyone.